I mean, more.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? Welcome to Shameless Conversation. I am your host, Marnisha. Time is your GPS. I'm trying to make sure before I bring my guest on here, um, that everything is right, to make sure that it is public so people could come in and have comments and all that good stuff. Um, let's see. Because sometimes this thing don't let me pop on the way I want to pop on all the time. Okay. That everything is right. Okay. So it's public, people. All right, cool. So thank y'all for joining me tonight. We have none other than Deedria Chauntee. I known her from a certain aspect, but I'm gonna let her talk about all her good glories and you know. So she's got guests for tonight. I don't got you on it yet. They don't see you yet. So she backstage. It's a blessing actually for her to just agree. I was really nervous. I was she don't even know this. I was thinking about, well, God, who do I need for to be my guest? I've been having a lot of guys, and the guy that it was supposed to be, I was thinking about, I was like, I'm gonna shift him to later. But and so Deedria um she dropped in my spirit. So I texted her, I think it was late too, for me to be texting somebody. And she said she would do it. And I was like, oh, really? I was totally surprised. So I give my people a name and I call her the one, because this woman, I know she's the go-to for everything. I needed a help with business plan. She sent me leaks. She know 501c3. She know church business. She has a hair school. She just not a jack of many trades, but she masters whatever she does. And it come out in the spirit of excellence. Me and her do not have a personal one-on-one relationship. So just as much as y'all learning her tonight, I'm learning her as well. Normally my guests, I know a little something. I just know her face value, but I know this is a woman that go deeper than what the surface show. All right, so I'm about to join in. Deedria Chauntee, there you go.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Y'all gotta bear with me. It's been a minute since I have been live.
Okay.
Praise. Woo.
Yeah.
Woo. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? In a second, I'll go tag my page so I can get some people
Okay.
come hang out with us. Woo. How are you? First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Anytime someone shares their platform with you, I am forever grateful. So
Man.
thank you for thinking of me. And I am one of those people that if I can make it happen, I'm gonna make it happen. So you don't have to be afraid to ask me anything. Because if I can't do it, I'm gonna say I can't do it.
Right. But you such a busy woman. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, she's so busy. And I greatly appreciate you. I know I said it on my intro, you was backstage. So everything. So let's get right into it. So Shameless Conversation was created. People don't know how old I am, but I am over 40. So it was given to me to do just snippets and clips about expressing things that people were ashamed of. No, but more so myself, because I've always had an issue, but desire to be transparent. And growing up in the church, in my environment, with my sexuality and everything else, I always felt confined that I really couldn't share me. And it was the littlest things that it was taken out of context. One day I said I was not going to be a part of one of the ministry groups at church anymore when I was 16. And the next thing I know, someone had said, oh, they was like, well, why you don't want to be a part? I'm like, I just don't want to be a part. But I was having stomach issues at the same time. So they start telling people I was pregnant. And I'm like, what? So it was
Where did
one
that
of
come? I didn't even get to participate.
right. Like I didn't get that, so it was one of those things where it really shut my mouth as well. It just capitalized because growing up in church, you got to walk on eggshells. And I was one of the people that, I was in ministry and everything else, and I wanted to please God. So I didn't even know my weaknesses or my agitations or whatever, because I wasn't tapped in. I just was like, I'm going to pray that away. I'm going to do this and do that. So it took me a long time, but I'm here. And so I've been doing shameless conversations, and it's been a blessing doing it to give other people a chance to share their story and to share how shame did not overtake them, and how we can learn together and build together. So yeah, I know I'm a church girl and grew up in church, but this is not a church platform. This is not a platform that you don't have to preach, none of that. We just hitting it if we talk about church, ministry, organization, whatever. But we real and upfront, and this is how people should have been a long time ago. So a first question for you, lady. I ask everybody this. What does shame mean to you?
Oh, shame. Shame is a preconceived personal notion that people sometimes place on themselves or others based upon their belief system.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the things that people, I'm big on not making your issue my issue, because I
Okay.
feel like some things are not a heaven or a hell issue. Some things are preference. But
Yeah.
we will, society today, if you're not doing this or you're not doing this, you're looked upon and frowned upon, and you may not be able to get into every clique. So we
Mm-hmm.
allow the world to place their preconceived notions on us. And we
Mm-hmm.
begin to feel bad because we haven't met this mark, or we haven't done that, or we didn't do this right. Life is a journey. It's like any other road trip. Sometimes you go down the wrong road,
Right.
but
Right.
as long as you
Right.
headed to your destination, then it should be fine. So
Right.
my hope and prayer is that we would move away from allowing shame, or the spirit of defeat, is what sometimes I compare shame to. But we
Okay.
have to be able to get past that same spirit has kept our families from not sharing things that could have delivered our whole lineage. But
Mm-hmm.
because of the guilt and the shame connected to certain things, then we don't talk about it. We don't share. We don't educate our communities. So yeah, I'm big on shameless, because the
Okay.
Bible says, and I'm
You
a
got me
pastor,
too.
so I may go there, but there is no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. There's no condemnation today. There's no condemnation tomorrow. There's no condemnation that someone else can pick up and place on you. And it's easier for me to grasp that concept because I didn't grow up holier than thou in the holiness church.
Mm-mm.
We was Baptists, but Baptist folk kind of do whatever they big and bad enough to do, as long as they don't tell it. If they don't tell
Right.
it, it ain't happen. So that's kind of how I grew up. So I can't get this hair right. So I grew up into that concept. So um I don't have that heaviness on top of
Mm-hmm.
me, because I just didn't grow up that there was a absolute right or wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't wear white on first Sunday, you going to hell. You didn't backslid. We need to baptize you again. I didn't have all of that growing up. So I am who I am totally by the Spirit of God. So
Okay.
I have a relationship with Him that
Mm-hmm.
supersedes any relationship I could have with anyone else.
That's good. That's good. So even though you grew up a little more free, because
Yes.
I do, I have one of my good friends. She's a good old Baptist, and so we would go. Just a little story. We would go. I grew up Kojic and Baptist. We grew up
Woo!
right. So the Kojic church, we would go to the Baptist church and have a service. My bishop would preach, and vice versa. And when the first time I went, I was like 15 or maybe 14, 15, and they was in the bathroom smoking. I was like, oh my God, this it's mom, we have to leave the church. They're in the bathroom smoking. And she grew up Baptist. So she's like, girl, chill out. But from what I came from, that was a no, like, no, you ain't definitely ain't smoking in the house of the Lord, not no cigarettes. So with
Or
that,
nothing else.
right, right. So with that being said, how did you deal with shame, or have you came across anything in your life where you kind of was shameful about or didn't want anybody to know, or it was hard for you to kind of express?
Most definitely. And I live my life publicly private. And I'll say
I
that
like that.
I live it publicly
Ratchet.
private. Yep, that's some Baptist. I don't talk about a lot of things. I don't hide them. Anyone that's close to me knows, uh but I don't share too much of my personal unless it's my inner circle. And
Mhm.
sometimes I've learned that even that ain't even always the good thing to do.
Oh no,
Whoo, baby.
no, that
So
them the ones that tell it before anybody.
right, ooh, baby, especially in this LGBTQIA, whatever we got, all
Hey.
of the alphabets now. Um, if they think they know something, it's gonna be five stories before it actually
Mhm.
gets to the real one. So for
Mhm.
me, I think there's some things in my life that I'm not proud of,
Mhm.
but nothing that I feel shameful, because whatever happened, I learned a lesson.
Okay.
Whether I got, whether I win or I come close to the mark, everything in my life has been a lesson. I I am 50 years old.
Really?
November 14th, I turned 50 years
Listen,
old.
I got high pitch. I would have never thought that. Like,
Yes,
whoa.
I hit the 50 mark. So I in 50 years you go through some stuff.
Mhm.
You win some things, you learn some things. One of the things that people like to always say, because if people don't know, they'll make up stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am 50. Um People make up stuff. One thing about me, I'm a very loving person. I'm a very relationship oriented person. So what
Mhm.
is that? And I'm an only child. So with all
Mhm.
of that
Okay.
being said, I've been married more than I've been single in my
Okay.
life. But I've been married three times. One,
Mm.
my first husband, he passed away.
Okay.
Um, my second husband, we just decided that he didn't know what he wanted to do when he grew up, so we had to
Right.
part the seas. And then I was married to a young lady when I was in the height of my career. And put, I didn't have the time and energy to dedicate to that marriage. So
Mhm.
that's three marriages, three divorces. So that's three different last names. That's why I don't use
Mhm.
my last name anymore, because
Wow.
guess what? The only thing constant is my first and middle. But a lot of
Wow. Okay. Revelation. Okay, go ahead.
a lot of people would be ashamed of that. I'm
Mhm.
not. I feel like it was a part of my story. And I have to believe God when he says that all things work together for the
Mhm.
good of them that love God. And I
Mhm.
love him. I love him, love
Abraham.
him, love him, love him, love him. So good, bad, or indifferent, it's a part of my story. So
Mhm.
yeah, that I don't allow the world, and they'll be like, oh, she got aliases. No, I was married to that one, and
Mm.
that one. But people will
Wow.
value that and be like, you've been married a lot of times. Yeah, I'm sorry. If I'm with you, you're going to have to do something. I'm just not going to play with you long term single. And then,
Right, right.
that's just not who I am. I believe in commitment. So
Mhm.
that's one of the, I guess, the biggest things or biggest misconceptions. But the world says, oh, you can't be married more than once, so you supposed to just be sinning. What you mean?
Right,
Like,
right,
I don't
right,
think
right.
the world gets to put those stigmas on us. We
Mhm.
allow people to give us stuff that ain't even ours.
Mm. That's true.
So yeah,
That's
hey
true.
Kizzy with her pretty self. So yeah, for me, there've been so many things, so many times I've won in life, so many times I've lost. I am right now. Even I am on total sabbatical from pastoring. I said, you
Mhm.
know what, God, I'm gonna give you your niggers for a minute. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna sit down and just sup with you. And I love pastoring. I have pastored successfully, unequivocally for 3.5 years. But
Mhm.
you get burnt out. I'm a human being.
Mhm.
I am human and I am spirit, and
Mhm.
people forget to take care of their humanness. So in
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
humanness, you got to make sure you're well, because you hurt somebody. The saints
Yeah.
will make you hurt them.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
So sometimes you have to take a step back, and it doesn't negate your call. I tell everybody, whatever condition you find yourself in does not negate your call, the call of
Mhm.
God that's on your life. So a lot of people feel, oh, she not this place, she not in this place. That doesn't mean that she wasn't called. You wasn't there. So,
Mm. Right. Right. Right.
some
Right.
things the Bible says, work out your own soul salvation. And if we don't
Mhm.
stop working, we don't start working out our own soul salvation, we will fall for anything that anybody tells us.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I probably live a shameless life. They probably be like, that girl over there, that pastor got that skirt on. And do and did.
Indeed. So something I guess I want to just jump in, correlating, because pastoring and stop pastoring. And you said for now, you kind
Mhm.
of like at this moment, you was better than me because I said no. And so, and that was it, and it was from a place I knew I was hurt. And from me being in a hurt place, I knew I had was under people at that moment, people that was my covering, that added shame to me.
You see, you taking stuff that ain't yours. That's their stuff. You
Exactly.
keep that.
You know,
Mm-mm.
and so yep, yep, yep. So with that being said, it was like when we had our disconnection, oh my goodness.
Ooh, girl, that disconnect. Niggas don't know how to disconnect and shut up. They
And
don't
but
know.
see, then the thing was, it was like, yo, I just had to move accordingly to what y'all did. And the thing that was this, the good statement was, they was like, where is Pastor Marnisha? Well, I caught her in a lesbian relationship. Oh, don't lie on God. God showed me. God didn't show you nothing. The church do teach shame. God didn't show you nothing because I told you, and I told you from day one. But then the
That's
accusation,
good stuff. That's good stuff.
then the accusations started because they didn't know what else to tell anybody when you had someone faithful, dedicated, committed, and despite their exposure of me, of the lies. Now, y'all ain't catch me. Y'all, and at that point, I was single because me and my partner at that time, we decided not to have this title or try to be in the deliverance line because of church and not God.
Because of their beliefs. Whoo, that's good.
Their
But
belief.
what how I deal with that, because again, I've been married to a man, to two men, I've been married to one woman. I'm currently in a complete lesbian relationship and I'm happy.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
so I'm not single. Uh, my
But
inbox is blowing up right now. But
so
anyway,
for everybody, she's not single. She has
I'm not
clarified.
married. I am dating. I am in a committed relationship.
Okay.
But I will say this: I am a follower of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jesus Christ didn't address it, I won't address it. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
find a scripture where Jesus Christ addressed homosexuality. He talked about love, he talked about respect, he talked about communication, but he never addressed homosexuality. So I think we need to become less religious
That's the
and
word.
bigger followers of Christ, because I don't have to, I teach a school. One of the first things they did all the time when I think they found out that I was in a lesbian relationship years ago, they said, Miss D, are you gay? And I said, well, right now I'm not practicing anything. I'm
Mm.
simply your teacher. So if you
Good.
want to
That's good.
discuss that, we can talk all day. but I'm not going to, because again, the Bible says, work out your own soul salvation. So if I have a relationship with God, he'll pull me out the bed if I ain't supposed to be there. Because he looks high and he looks low. So he
Right.
sees everything. So if you're gonna trust me to run your house, if you're gonna trust me with the people of God, if you're gonna trust me to clean your bathrooms, if you're gonna trust me to pray, then you gotta trust that the same God you pray to is the same God that I pray to. If he is speaking to you, he's gonna speak to me. So we have to learn, and that's one thing I love about this new generation. And see, our old generation would rather use all the gay people, the LGBTQ community to speak and to sing, but then when it came time to preach, or when it came time to actually be open and honest about who these people were, they wanted to cover it up. And that's why we have generations that are locked, because we won't be real. The real we didn't just start having LGBT preachers. They
Right.
just started talking about it.
Right. Right. That part. That part. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the
So
truth.
if Jesus Christ didn't address it, I don't have to address it with you.
Right. And so, Kizzy said earlier, the church teaches shame. And that was when that dawned on me before. I was like, yo, and I was much younger, but it was always something that we always swept stuff under the rug. We swept stuff under the rug, and then when people trip over it, it'd be like, huh? Duh. And and instead of, because religion is based on control. It's based
Ooh,
on it's
a
based on
lot
fear.
of it is, but relationship with God is not. And
It's
we
not.
have to get people into a place where they begin to have their own relationship with God. And even as human beings, we try to make so many things so spiritual. Some stuff is just you need to take your medicine. I tell and that people get mad at me. There are a lot of people that have to have marijuana for anxiety. I tell my congregation, if you need your meds before you get here, or you're going to get on my nerves, take your meds. Don't come in here trying to act like you don't need it. And then we wondering why you run around foo. You know you need a medication. You know you need a script. Get your script.
Get your script. Because
But we try to, we gonna deliver everything. We gonna pray out some things the doctors need. Some things God put here for a reason. We had burning bushes. We had all kinds of, half them people in that Bible was high. The church teaches you to be double-minded, yes, and to
yeah.
hide everything. And if we are all saved by grace, nobody is Jesus Christ. I ain't him. He don't even need no help. So why we running around trying to be perfect when perfection isn't required?
Ooh, wait. Say that again, girl. Why we run around here trying to
Why
be
we trying to
perfect?
be perfect when perfection isn't required?
Man,
The Bible says we press towards the mark of the
it is
higher calling that
right.
is in Jesus Christ. It ain't in the presiding prelate. It ain't in the usher. It ain't in the pastor. We press towards the mark of the high calling that's in Christ Jesus.
Come on, come on. Yeah, I can tell you miss preaching. That there go. And
Pastoring is special.
I
Pastoring
get
is
that.
special.
It is. It is. I
Ooh.
get that. And I tell it, I was like, oh my God. I moved away and not ministering. I was like a fiending. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I
Ooh.
miss teaching, I miss talking, I miss being around people, I miss everything. I was asked about wait a minute. I want to get these comments up real quick, let the people be a part. Love is what it. That's it. Okay, all right. So with the with keeping everything so hidden, we don't get healed.
Uh-uh.
And so this whole journey of me trying to and walking in being shameless has been one that is unveiling constantly. I was just asked today, well, a couple of days ago, I've been asked by my partner asked me, who are you if you did not have ministry, if you didn't
Mm.
have church, if you did not have none of that, what would you be doing? Who are you? But and I'm like, uh well, I'm a loving person, I will care, help people. Nope, nope, but nope, that sounds too good. That's a fluffy. Who are you? And I'm like, yo, that that have been stumping me because like I've been born, raised in church. I went to church so much they didn't even know my parents went to the church because I went more than them. They just thought I was somebody in the community that walked to church every day. And but that because that's what I found safety in.
Uh-huh.
So then I had to start thinking about who I was when I wasn't going to church or what I like
Ooh.
doing and what music I like and everything else. And now I'm even more on the journey of exposing to myself who I am. Every day I'm learning me and I can't be
Mm.
ashamed for not knowing who I am.
Girl, it's a part, and we you shouldn't be constricted to be the same person that you were 5 years ago. We are
That
yet
that
evolving. I might like tuna fish today, but I might need chicken salad on tomorrow. I can
right.
elevate my palate. People get mad when that your version of you that they get comfortable with, you keep moving and evolving, and now they think you acting different. No, I am not the same person. I don't even have to be the same. Again, that is not what God requires.
Mm,
And we lose. I will say, I will be the first to say, I totally lost who Deedria was in ministry. Totally, all I could do was answer the phone, make
mm,
flight arrangements, buy food, pick up peanut butter and jelly, make sure the band was paid, make sure the vocalist was paid, make sure the building was paid. I got so wrapped up in evolving and doing what I needed to do that I totally lost who I was. I don't know. I was like, Lord, the people is pimping me out. Like I don't even know. Like I work for the people. And I,
mm,
and the Bible pastoring is dragging the people, not becoming their savior. So
mm.
I had to reevaluate exactly how I was doing ministry
She
and
did
how
that
and
for
it
everybody.
and Kizzy will tell you I
Yeah, you
took
did to
care of
everybody.
everybody. Everybody from the front door to the back door. If they call and say they ain't have no gas, I was gonna get them some gas money. And there's nothing wrong with that. So now God said, I mean, God, I had to shut it down because people will make you feel like
Mm.
you are theirs.
Ooh,
You belong to them. God
ooh,
ain't even in the picture.
man,
God ain't even in the picture. You
God ain't in
belong
the
to them.
picture.
When I tell you, when I came to the realization, because
Mm,
what you will do is give and do. And when you need a quarter, ain't nobody answering the phone. Oh, that's
mm,
Pastor. Well, she got it.
mm,
I didn't give y'all
mm,
niggas everything in Savings Plus. What you mean, Pastor got it? I'm looking
mm,
at the tithing report like, where the attempts at?
mm,
So understand it really it
mm.
came to a place in January where I said, that's it. I need to stop pastoring for a minute. I need to get back to me. I need to say, okay, I need to give the people to God and trust what I
Mm,
put in them. And I'm proud of them. They done gone on, they starting ministries, the elders, they doing what they were supposed to do. But I became the crutch. I
yeah,
became the
yeah,
crutch that kept them from moving.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I felt like if I didn't make the peanut butter and jelly, the people won't go get fed on every other Sunday morning. But once I stopped making the peanut butter and jelly, God will call
Mm,
anybody. He will raise up the stripper. He
yes,
will raise up
yes.
the pervert. He will raise them up and put us in position so that His will can be done. So
Mm,
I once I realized that means Deidria has a
mm,
right to be Deidria. Deidria has a
mm.
right to put Deidria first. Deidria has a right. I have a God given right to make sure I'm good.
Yep,
Because if
to be
I
filled
don't,
again.
nobody else is. Now, who am
Yes.
I outside without the pastor role? I'm still the same loving person.
Hey,
Hey,
Tam.
Santana, I love you. I still would do anything for anybody, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it in proportions.
Wow.
I when I relaunch, and right, charity starts at home. I gotta take care of me. So when we relaunch, we're gonna relaunch differently. There will be
Mhm.
a benevolence fund. Whatever y'all put in that sucker, once it's gone, it's gone. We just gonna have a prayer service. That's what we're
Right.
gonna do. We're gonna
Right.
tarry
And
until
people
God
forget
give us
about
a
that
plan.
part. People forget about that part. When
Mm-hmm.
Paul and they seen the man going into church, he said, "Silver and gold I have none, but what do I give? I give you me,
Me.
and
Woo!
God is in me, so I give you me. How can I help you? You know what? Let Revelation. Let me pick you. Let me hold your hand. Let me pick you up, and let me walk you to where you need to go.
That's
Let
it.
me be your eyes.
That's
We
it.
can't be the eyes because we're gonna get dirty somewhere. And that means we have to sacrifice the things of our desire to help somebody else.
To help somebody else.
And I'm telling you, that thing you said right there, had a conversation this week. And the conversation was like, man, people in church, you can sit there and talk an hour. You got stuff planned, you got to be with your family, you got stuff to do. You'll sit there and talk an hour. As soon as you say, I really gotta go, and you walk out the door. Pastor left.
Pat.
How rude was that? As if Pastor did not have a life, if his pastor don't need to go take care of home and everything else. And so the next comment she said to me was, "Remember, what you start, you got to maintain."
You get. Oh, that's good. And
And,
the thing about that is why does it always have to be the pastor? Something again, some people need to take their medication. If you feel like you need that much attention,
that's good.
that means you have an attention deficit disorder. Now this thing ain't even spiritual no more.
Right.
We
Come on.
deal with the natural. If you have gotten your hug from your pastor, you are able to reach out if you need something. You have people in place. I am not here to be your boo. I'm not. That thing worries me to death. You be in church, you be in relationships you ain't even signed up for. We don't go together. Why you ain't call me? What?
Right. Right. That part. Then and that's the thing. People will walk. That's a part of that's shame right there. Because the pastor would feel shameful and we would carry the load when we cannot produce
Mm,
for somebody else. And our home can become lacking. Our
our
cabinet, our,
relationship.
our, our relationships suffer. This is what I've seen it so many times that I say, I will not let this relationship ministry take my relationship. I don't care. I'm not trying to, I would never again put man, church before my home. Because if I
Ooh,
can't
that's good.
minister and steward what's in my house, I cannot help lead you. I'm not going to make you do. All I have to do is lead you and
Lead you and guide you.
and be an example. So if I walk in love in my house, you're gonna say, "Oh, they know how to respond." I
Right.
see them living this thing.
We
Not
my partner and I were talking earlier today about that because I did take that step back from ministry, and I will say ministry was a very very big part of the demise of my last relationship. And people know it was we lived a very public life, and
Mhm,
we were together for about about 4.5 years, which is a long time to not go to the next level. But
mhm.
when you're constantly working, and I was so inundated with being a boss. I have the school, I have the play. Daddy's home, but my husband ain't, and we're touring the country. But
All right, all right.
but between the church and the school, and I was so inundated with making sure we had that, the relationship went lacking. And
Mhm,
the relationship was supposed to be the place of refilling, but if
mhm,
you don't pour anything into
mhm,
it, you're not going to be able to reap a harvest from it. So
mhm,
I will always admire and love my previous fiance. It just the weight of ministry the
We'll
weight
do it.
of work, the weight of making sure, we're closing on 5 bedroom houses and we're doing this and we're doing that. When you're doing that, the relationship suffers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I will never make that type of mistake, because once the feelings and once the relationship is gone, it's gone. And it's not a
Mhm.
whole lot there's not a whole lot you can do. That's right. There has to be a balance, and then you have to have, and the thing is, my ex-fiance and I were both givers. So they would give, I would give. We would put everybody before us. I looked up one time, in every bedroom of our home, somebody was living in it because they didn't have a house.
Mhm.
So now our safe haven, our home, can't even be our home in a place of refuge, because now we boarding folks. So I've
Right.
learned so much, and although my heart still wants to do that and still wants to be there, I have to set boundaries. My
Mhm.
address is my address. Can't nobody live with me no more ever in life. I sorry. I'm gonna get you a hotel for a couple days.
Not
We're
me.
gonna
No, I'm
figure
just
out
joking.
what to do. But
No, I ain't gonna never leave. I ain't doing this here.
I have learned that and it took a long time. I'm retiring this year from doing the school. I've done it since
Mhm.
2009. And people are
Wow.
mad. People are like, I can't believe it. No, baby, I have given y'all 17 years of my life. I don't want my
Mhm.
phone. When you're a business owner and people rush for that boss title, baby. I'm
Mhm.
answering the phone 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm jumping up. I'm making sure everybody's good. And I didn't have a small school. We're talking 400 or 500 people. And who
Mhm.
can make 400 or 500 people at the same time happy? Nobody. But
Mhm.
I continue to give and burn myself out trying to be what everybody wanted me to be, except, and I lost who I needed to be for me. So
Mhm.
we will
People.
never do that
Mhm.
again.
So, and you said you lost yourself in ministry, and we get so tight, focused on romantic relationships, we lose ourselves. No, we lose ourselves even in the essence of who we are. Because if you're a giver, you still need control. If you're a lover, you still need
Still
control.
need control.
If you're a pastor, you need control. If you a lay member, if a business owner, whatever, we still need control and
Control and balance.
stewardship. Everything to balance everything proper. Stewardship does not mean it's just with money. How do you
Mm-mm.
steward your family? How do you steward your mental health? How do you steward your partner? How do you steward everything about you? Because everything's supposed to it shows your alignment with God. But
Mm-hmm.
we make our alignment with God church. And that's not our
That
alignment.
ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't
It's
it.
the world, bigger
Ooh,
highways and hedges. We compel them to come. Not they didn't say come to church. They said come to love.
come to him.
And and God is love. So if we're walking and teaching and love, we can embrace everybody. So one thing I did love, and even about you, that you was a giver. Now something I was like, yeah, I don't know about paying everybody. You know what I'm saying? But but
I mean,
because back
I
in the
don't,
day,
certain things I don't. I mean, I don't even know. Like, and people be like, "How did you do this?" And how it was God. It was God.
well,
Like,
because
I
you
mean,
made a way, God made a way.
whatever he said, this is what you're gonna do. This is how it's gonna happen. He made it happen for 3.5 years. I've
Yeah.
never been homeless. I've never not. Even if I wanted to do something for somebody, God will even give me an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be a business venture for them, and it'll explode. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful as to how strategic and how meticulous he is. But I'm also grateful when I needed a break, he knew it.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm so glad when I was at my lowest, and it was like my 50-year birthday party, and it was so nice, and everybody came. And afterwards, I was like, I just want to be alone.
Mm.
I just need some alone time with
Mm-hmm.
him. And I was able to get it. And I'm just grateful. I'm still able to love. I still love to feed. I still love to go to the homeless shelters. I still love to go and minister to youth. I still
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of people that hit me up a lot of times for a lot, but just having to be and make sure everything is good Sunday after Sunday, and be what everybody in the building needs you to be at one point, at any given point in time. It just got to be too overwhelming. And God said take a break. So I'm taking a break.
And listen, that don't need nothing to be no shame about. That ain't no shame in your game.
No.
And the thing is, I appreciate now. I did was like, oh, pay it with the payment, because sometimes when we grew up, I know with me, oh, if you're a member, if you're a part, you show your talent, you show your gift, and it wasn't no compensation. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. If you a member, if you this and that, and praise and worship leaders didn't get paid,
Mm,
choir directors didn't get paid, youth directors. If you're gonna be a part, and you're volunteering your services, and so, but also too in the same thing, if you ain't giving your people, they're gonna keep coming to you talking about their lights
right.
and
And
everything else, and they need help because you open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and you expect them to be there, not go to work, call in to work for revival and
mm-hmm.
everything else. And so if they leading your people singing praise and worship or directing every day for a
Yeah,
7 day revival and not going to work, then you get mad. What you need? What you talking about? Your lights cut off, baby. I don't know. What about that job? It was my job, singing and praise and worship and director it and leading these people in and out your driveway. So people don't understand
yeah, and
the
there has to
growth.
be a balance even
It
with
do
that. I didn't pay every praise and worship leader, but as I grew, if I had it, they had it.
right,
And you know, and that's how I think it's supposed to be. I don't want to be the pastor driving a Bentley and nobody in the congregation is driving a Bentley. Then
right.
something, the scales are unbalanced. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that, especially in this day and age in Atlanta, it is very hard to get anybody to do anything for free. These people in Atlanta, you know, it's a whole different animal. So you have to make sure not only are, you know, the spiritual side of church is taken care of, but the business side of church is taken care of. And the business side of church, people aren't giving. I mean, let's just be honest. People aren't
Mm-hmm.
giving like they used to. So, you know, grandmas used to die and wheel the church all their life savings and all of that. It ain't happening no more. So
Mm-hmm.
the church has to now operate with businesses. And that's why, again, I even came up with the play Daddy's Home, but my husband ain't. Because I wanted to make sure that there were resources there, tangible resources to assist our congregation. So
Love it, love it,
it's just
love it.
the strategic part of pastoring that, you know, it's important. And yeah, I mean, in this day and age in Atlanta, maybe down in Tuscaloosa, they might, you know, beat the drums for free. Um, oh, but they ain't playing the organ for free. So we so if you want to get some you know, the wash tracks, or get you some stems or something like that. But people need to understand that church is a production, from the sound man to the. You're just not going to get that level of talent in Atlanta, where everybody is looking for a church. Everybody is looking for a gig. Unfortunately, a lot of
Man,
church
that's
musicians
a whole.
has turned it into a gig. But that's another show.
I'm about to say we gonna tap because we gonna tap that because that was one of the things. Me being a musician as well, and I'm not from here. I'm from Chicago,
Mhm.
and they taught you. I my gift made room, and it was a balance. People say how much? I don't know. A love offering. Give me what you can. I don't know what the church budget is. I'm not. I'm
Mhm.
not because it was what I love to do, and I kid you not. God have made a way in my life when I didn't have anything, and He's still making a way, and it was because of the seeds that we sown, and it was not
Ooh.
and it was the thing of not being ashamed of his love for us, his love for me, so I want to go back to something you said. It's just about this whole marriage thing, right?
Mm.
Because the transition from a man to a woman, two
Mhm.
men at that.
What do you
Okay,
mean? What do you mean?
I'm about to finish the
Okay.
transition of being married to two men. How How did that strengthen
Ooh.
you or make you stronger to deal with um did you put the demand on your wife that you put as, on the same as your man as the
Oh,
husband?
oh yeah. You asked some good ones today. Um. Oh, so I have dated. I have been married to a cisgender man. Cisgender man means that they were born male. I have been married to a cisgender female, meaning she was born female. And I was engaged for four and
Mm.
a half years to a trans man, who was
Mm.
born female but transitioned to male. And
Educator.
now I'm in
Ed-
a lesbian relationship. So, whew,
How
I
did
don't know.
that
I think the kid, the kids call it fluid. I think I don't know, but
yeah,
because they get new terms.
listen.
I
Listen,
just
we went
love.
to 3 times to now 50 of them. I'm about to say what? Okay.
Right. Cisgender man, cisgender female, trans man, and a lesbian woman. For me, I don't play. I love. Um, I don't think I place any more demands. A lot of people will think that, and I am a feminine woman. There are just certain things I don't like. I don't like to do. But even in the bounds of tradition and customs, like my
Mhm,
young lady I'm in a relationship with, she cooks more than me.
mhm,
I'm a single, we were talking about it now, would she like for me to cook more? Most definitely. And I'm working on it, but I'm working on it out of love. I'm not
mhm.
working out of it out of tradition. I'm not working on anything out of stereotypes. um I love who I love, and I expect to be treated a certain way. I respect to have a certain level of respect, regardless as to what their gender is. I think you figure first you have to figure you out and figure out what makes you comfortable. But I don't think anyone needs to fit into some type of stereotypic norms because they fall as a stud, or they fall as an aggressive femme, or this or that. Figure out and be true to who you are, because you can't pretend forever. So if
Mhm.
you go into a situation pretending and trying to be something that you think someone wants because of love, you're going to fail every time. Love can cover a multitude of issues and a multitude of sin, but it's very difficult for love to overshadow reality.
Ooh, wee. You said that. You said that, Miss Chauntee. Miss Chauntee, girl. Cover man reality. So, and when what made me ask the question and want to get here to this next question, because shame comes in relationships. Definitely when, like you said, she cooks more, right? But if cooking ain't your strong suit, society will make you feel bad and make you feel less than because you don't cook or you're not as domestic as
Oh, yes.
she is.
Cooking, society will make you feel like if you're not at this age making this amount of money, something is wrong with you. It's so
Married at
many
an
things.
age.
It used to be light skin was in, it used to be brown skin was in. I used to have an issue with my little gray hair, but I'm 50. So we have to start figuring out what makes us happy and
Right.
shut the world out of that, because if
Exactly.
we will miss the mark. And I think this, and we'll probably have a conversation later, but we allow the world to tell us what relationships should look like,
Exactly.
and we will put that above how we feel,
Right.
and
Right.
we're sitting there trying to fit around a
A
square
role.
into a
Mhm.
round hole. It don't fit.
Exactly.
Stop trying to force things because of society's norms or because of somebody else's isms and schisms. You have so many people killing themselves because they feel inadequate. You have superstars with millions of dollars killing themselves over issues that if they opened their mouth and had a conversation and the world was real, half the people on the block got the same issue,
Hmm. Hmm.
but they can't hide it no more. Somebody then
Hmm.
told their tea. That's why I wrote the play, Daddy's Home, but my husband ain't. My
Hmm.
next play I'm writing, I have one called Steady Love,
Hmm.
and I have another
Okay.
one called Behind the Pulpit.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's good. It's good. It's good. I want us to begin to have the conversations, especially in the LGBTQ plus, whatever they want to call it, community so that our kids aren't killing themselves. Our kids aren't dying because we're too afraid to talk about what things really used to be.
hmm hmm That is, and I had shame for that. Uh, my shame because I am masculine,
Mm-hmm.
out of everything else, that I like to provide and take care
Thank
of
you,
my home.
Janae.
Yeah, thank you. I like to always take care and provide in my home, and so I would try to do it the way it was told in society. But I'm way more domestic. And my partner, she, my previous partner, excuse me, she did not staying at home, kids, going to the school conferences. Nope. I'd rather be at the job 16 hours. I'll work 16 hours. You do that. But then it became a weight because it's like, you know, now I didn't mind. I love. I went to work, came home, did the kids, did he go work 16, make the money. Hey, I'm not tripping. And our house is fine. But the outside people will come in and say and start talking. And so as long as I was comfortable then, and then each relationship, I felt like I had to chase the dollar. Like now,
Hey,
before,
Devon.
hey, Delon, how you doing? Hey, Shara. So it was things that was happening that I started being shameful in my relationship, and it decreased my activity. It decreased my love giving. It decreased my communication because I felt like I was not good enough to handle what was in my relation. But I knew I can bear it all. It ain't about roles. It's about what's your strongest suit.
What's your strong and what makes you happy?
Happy.
End of the day, no person has a heaven or hell to put you
Mhm.
in unless you give it one, unless you give them one.
Exactly.
We allow people too much conversation. We allow too much interest, and now we living in hell on earth because of somebody else's issues from their mom and them, and they need to go lay on somebody's couch. Hey, Shara. Hey, beautiful. I refuse. I refuse to allow the world. There were periods of my life where what my babe say, swung the bat. I swung the bat.
Mhm.
You want a house? Okay, well, I'm gonna come up with 20 G's. What we doing this week?
Mhm.
I got you. I swung the bat. I am 50 years old. I don't want to swing the bat all the time no more. I want to
Mhm.
go sit and eat bonbons. I want to play the stock market. You have to
Yes,
do what makes you happy. And the problem is we're allowing society to determine what makes us happy and not figuring it out for ourselves.
I love the way what you said earlier, as far as evolving. That's why, and we people saying it a lot now. But I don't want, and I never want to be in a relationship where you can handle me for now.
Mm.
Handle my tomorrow.
And
Can I see you in my future being able to handle the glory that I carry? The call, my headaches, my attitude. When it can you see that it
can
ain't
you
about
handle it? Can
can
you
you
handle it
handle
if
it?
I got
Do
it?
you
Can
want
you
to?
handle it if I don't got it? Can you
Exactly.
handle, do you care enough about my well-being as a human being to be there whether I know what if I wake up and want to be an astronaut tomorrow?
Right.
You supposed to help me be whatever I want to be, and that's where we don't allow people to be human. We don't
Yes.
allow people to be who they want to be. And we use this love thing so loosely. We
Mm-hmm.
get into relationships for the
Mm.
wrong reasons,
Yeah.
loneliness. We get into
Mm-hmm.
relationships for all these reasons, other than to have someone that I can walk this earth and press towards the mark with. If you
Mm-hmm.
take all these unspoken expectations off of it, why do you have expectations that I open the door or your partner open the door every time you get in the car? Are you tripping? Sometimes I might want my door open.
Mm-hmm.
We place unrealistic expectations on
Right.
people, and we
Right.
don't even know, babe, do you even like opening my door? Have you
Right.
had that conversation? So
Right.
we get into so many things without having the conversations. We don't ask, well, what happens if all this crap fall apart tomorrow? What we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
What we gonna do? Are you able to love me even when loving me doesn't include you?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes,
Hey, girl, I didn't even know that was you.
hey
Mm-hmm.
Trees, hey Trees, I
Mm-hmm.
love you. I love you so much, Trees. But that is the when we talk about, oh, I love you unconditionally. That's bull crap. They got conditions. You just need to be honest and say what the conditions are. Okay, because you're not gonna bust me upside my head and I'm gonna say I love you unconditionally. The devil is a lie. I'm not even required to. If loving you is hurting me, baby, we can't do this no more. But we don't put ourselves first.
Come
We don't
on.
put ourselves first. And it's
Come on.
okay if what worked for me in 2020 don't work for me in
Come
2023.
on.
I have evolved. I love you nonetheless. May the
Mm,
Lord watch
you
between
can.
me and thee, because we about to be absent from one another. But I
Exactly.
wish you well.
Right. Because
I
some
wish you well.
when we growing and we grow grow out of, and I don't like saying that word, but when we do evolve, because when somebody want to keep me at 15, I'm not 15 no more. The things I said I wasn't gonna do, the thing it's let's take something simple. Okay. I hated peanut butter as a kid. I hated oatmeal as a kid. Despised it. Wouldn't eat it. Act like I throw it away. Now I promise you I want to. Now I love me some peanut butter and I love me some oatmeal. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, I thought you don't eat that. Girl, that was years ago. What it's about what I'm doing now. I can wake up and have a different revelation about what I went to about something I went to sleep on the night before. And
Yes,
wake up with another whole thought process. But you want to keep me captive to what I said my favorite color is?
no, they want to keep you captive to their version of you
Yeah.
because it makes them comfortable.
Ooh,
Because
and then,
you can't
come on.
grow
Come
and
on.
they not, and they be okay with it. So
That's it.
it has more to do with them than you.
You got you.
And
That's it.
it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. But
Mm-hmm.
I be looking at people and I be like, why are you so mad? You're mad because this person now has made a change of heart or change of mind.
Mm-hmm.
If it's for their betterment, and we still trust that all things work together for the good
True.
of them that love God and are called according to
Mm-hmm.
his purpose,
Mm-hmm.
we got to
Mm-hmm.
remember some things have an expiration date. Some
Ooh-wee.
likes, some relationship, some jobs, I tell people all the time, yes, I'm a pastor. I am an ordained pastor. However, a pastor is a position. I'm an elder in God's church. A
Come
pastor
on.
is only a
Come on.
job or where I was sitting in at a
Ooh.
particular point in time.
Come
So
on.
I can't put God in a box and say
Come
that's
on.
his personal best. We have to understand your position and title may change based upon who you are and how you grow.
Come on. Come on. I think that needs to marinate right there. That needs to marinate and get some flavor real soaked in, because that's true. I literally just said this a couple of days ago. It's my position, but it's I because of church, I love God. So God was tied to church, what made me start loving church. And then I thought me loving the people and serving the people, I was still serving God. No, God left the equation a long time ago, because I stopped looking for his approval and started seeking man approval in their validations, so I can feel shameless or feel validated and good enough for somebody else to use me, when God has already stamped me with his approval for yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah, they be like, oh, I don't want nobody mad at me. You'll get glad.
Uh-huh.
You mad at me? Why? But we worry about that. Oh, she
We
mad.
do.
You disappointed her. I am so sorry. But if you put your faith in God and not man, which is where it's supposed to be, because I promise the people at some point, Pastor D is gonna make you mad. I might fail you. I might not be able to get the phone when you call. I may not be able to always do, but I know a man.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Woo! I know a
Uh-huh.
man that never fails. And I
Right.
need you to put your trust in him. I need you to
Exactly.
put your trust in that level.
Mm-hmm.
Because the enemy will have us placing people in positions in our life, and then you can't see God for the person.
Come on.
You got them blocking. You got them blocking your relationship with God, and
And that's
God
why
is God.
exactly. So people leave church because,
People
oh
leave
my
church
God, my
because over
pastor.
people, over people.
People, oh, my pastor messed up. Your pastor human. Your pastor got flesh and blood just like you. And that's why God be removing people, because we have to keep him first. Like
Have
you
to.
said, is no jealous. He ain't no, he's a jealous God. He will have no other God before him. None.
No other.
I don't care. It could be our attitude, our partner, our money, our sex life, whatever. Our kids. I Now you know I love my grandbabies.
I know you love them burn babies.
Oh my. Anyway, so my grandbabies. But it got to a point where I did not want to relinquish them,
Yeah.
because they became my comfort as well. They made me feel like I was valid in life when I
Mm,
did not feel valid.
just a book, a placeholder for what really needed to go there, which was more Jesus.
Mhm. More time with myself. My daughter doing a wonderful job, and we was doing it, and she just moved away, and I was like, "What? Don't do that! Don't do that!" And it was the thing was, I wanted to be there, and I want to be there
Yeah.
for my family, but she was like, "Ma, I got to do this for me."
And sometimes we have a whole thing where we need to be needed.
Yes.
Especially when it's void of a relationship. If you're in an unhappy relationship, if you're in a or if you're single, you will feel validated because that validation is supposed to come, from your partner and God. But when
Mm-hmm.
that's empty, you will find yourself wanting people to, or feeling better when you're needed, feeling
Yeah.
like this is my purpose on earth, feeling like this is the feeling I need. When in
Mm-hmm.
all actuality, you need to do the work on yourself so that you can get connected, and your forever person can find you.
Man, let me tell
So,
you.
but Pastor Marnisha, I am
I
it's
know.
two
No,
minutes and I gotta get out of here.
I know. I'm about to say, let me read this comment. I just see the time. I know we that. Yep. Yep, that's it. God that we serve
Unconditional.
is unconditional. I know time is spent. I thank you for allowing me this time to share, and for the people to get on here and to share your story. And we have learned so much about you. And I
Thank
greatly appreciate it. Y'all, listen, show her some love, like, tag, share, shameless conversations. Your GPS and the one right there. Anything you need. Don't blow her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Y'all need deliverance, please. Um, just hit her up, encourage her, and everything
I
else.
appreciate it so much. I again, this platform is amazing. Marnisha, there's not we don't know each other. We haven't been in each other like hangout
Person,
party,
right?
that type of thing. That's not what we do. But there's never a time that you're gonna ask, and I'm not gonna try to make it happen, because that's I just believe that we're supposed to be helpers of one another, and I believe in the platform. I believe in this show, and it's gonna do some
Mhm.
great things in the city.
Oh my God, that blessed me. Hold on right quick, okay? Y'all have a good night. I'm ending the live. You stay right